Hello, students. Welcome to the solution of yet another fascinating problem. This may look like a problem of mathematics, and let me tell you, in totality, what we will be dealing with is going to be mostly mathematics of this problem, right? So, there is not much of a difficulty in terms of the physics of this problem, but again, they are physics and mathematics are so inseparable subjects, so we must counter the mathematics part of the physics as well, right? So here in this question, these two circles are given, right? So these two circles, just by looking at their equation, these two circles have each radius 2 and their centers are also given 1 comma 2 and 5 comma 2, right? So plotting these circle are going to be very easy just looking at them. And these two forces are also given, F1 vector and F2 vector. And if you look closely, these forces will also give you some sort of symmetry. And about the forces, I will draw the forces and make what kind of forces are there, right? And we have to determine the work done by these individual forces if a particle is rotated one full circle in the anti-clockwise direction along this circle C1 and C2. So in all, you have to determine four work done, right? So these are the work done, W12, 11, 22 and 23, right? So for force F1 on the circle C1, it is going to be W11, right? So now let's come to the drawing of all the forces that we have here, right? So this is what we have drawn here, right? So here, these are the two circles centered at 1 comma 2 and 5 comma 2 of radius 2 meter each, right? So these are two circles C1 and C2 that is drawn here. And if you just look at this thing, this forces, right? So these forces are actually, here you will find one thing common, 1 minus y I cap x minus 2, right? So if we just take common minus 1, it will become minus of y minus 1 and I cap x minus 2 j cap. What is this vector here? So let me show you here in this particular diagram. So this vector, let's say this is point 2 comma 1, and let's say this is any arbitrary given point x comma y, right? So of course, if I want to draw this vector here between these 2 points, this vector is going to be equal to coordinates. If I subtract the x coordinate, x minus 2 I cap plus y minus 1 j cap. This is this vector, right? So this is my r vector. Let's say this is my r vector and this is this vector, right? So if I want to make a perpendicular on this vector, so I can just swap the uh, coefficients and also put a minus sign. So that will be perpendicular to this line, right? So I can write minus of y minus 1 I cap plus x minus 2 j cap, right? This vector will be perpendicular to this vector. As you can see, the dot product is going to be 0. Of course, you can take a minus sign, multiply minus by minus sign to the both terms, and again it will be perpendicular. But just looking at this term, you know that this particular expression here will be in this particular direction, right? You can just take the component etc, and this is very simple to visualize. I'm sure all of you are well capable of doing that, right? So I'm not going to deal why this particular vector is in this particular direction, although this direction will also be perpendicular, right? So that is very clear and concise part. So the force we had, the one part of the force, let me show you again, right? So the one part of the force was this term here, was having this term here, right? So this is the term 1 minus y I cap. So this is clearly minus of y minus 1 I cap x minus 2 j cap. So now you will be convinced in both the terms f1 and f2, this term is given Of course, here there is one constant in both the terms, and also if I write the magnitude of this part, right? So the magnitude of this vector or this force, right? This force, magnitude of this force for first case, right? The F1 will can be written as r times, since these two vectors have the same magnitude, right? So in the case F1, this was the whole force vector, right? So this magnitude will be equal to this length here, r, right? So this length is equal to r. So r into direction of this vector. In the polar coordinate system, we write this as tangential direction, right? So let me call this tangential direction, or right, e theta cap, or whatever, by whatever convention you choose to write it. Actually, this is the direction of the force F1 vector. In the second vector case, F2 vector, this whole term was divided by square of addition of a square of these two. So if I just write this whole expression, y minus 1 whole square plus x minus 2 whole square, this is going to be equal to magnitude of r, right? So if I square it, so this whole term was divided by r square in the second case. So F2 will become r by r square, which is 1 by r, and direction will be in the same tangential direction. So this can be written as e cap theta divided by r. So these are two vectors, and if you just want to make a line, or field line for this particular kind of forces, what kind of field lines you will get? You will get a this dotted circular lines centered at 2 comma 1, right? So you can visualize that at any position, let's say this is the chosen position, right? This is the chosen position, and at this point the force is going to be along this tangential direction, along the anti-clockwise, in the anti-clockwise sense, and its magnitude in the first case is going to be equal to this distance from 2 comma 1, and in the second case its magnitude is going to be equal to reciprocal of this distance, right? So these are two forces, and they are always acting in this tangential direction of the circle centered at 2 comma 1, right? So if I want to evaluate the total force, total work done on any given path, right? So what we should write for any kind of variable forces, we can write the work done dW equal to force vector dot small displacement ds vector, and we can integrate over the whole path, right? So let's say at any given position, let's say the displacement, a very small displacement, is in this particular direction, right? So this is the very small displacement I'm talking about. This is very small displacement ds, right? So this is small displacement ds. Of course, I can take component of this small displacement ds vector, one component along this radial direction, right? So this component, let me call this as dr vector, and another component will of course be in the tangential direction. And of course, for very small displacement, this magnitude of this tangential component can be said to be, if I just join this point to this particular position, right? And if I say that I am rotating a radius vector by small angle d theta, this tangential displacement vector can be written as r times d theta. The magnitude will be equal to r d theta, right? So instead of writing here ds, I have taken these two components, right? And of course, since the force is always in the tangential direction, the work done by this radial direction displacement is going to be 0, because force and displacements are perpendicular. So work done will only be provided by this tangential force. That is what we have here, right? So we can write that total dW is going to be equal to tangential force, right? It could be F1 or F2, whatever. Its whole magnitude is along the tangential direction. So I am writing in general, it is equal to F. In the first case, it is going to be F1. In the second case, it is going to be F2. So F multiplied by this small displacement along the tangent, that is equal to r d theta, right? So we have to evaluate f r d theta over the whole circles, right, over the circumference of both of these circles C1 and C2. For the first case, for the case when the force F1 being applied, this F can be written as the magnitude of F will be equal to R times. Sorry, it was K times R, right? So one part I was missing here, right? It was equal to actually K. So just substitute here for the first part, dw can be written as K times R into R, that is R square d theta. So for the first force, we will be evaluating, for the total work done, we will be evaluating integration of K R square d theta. And for the second force F2, if we want to evaluate the total work done, that will be equal to F can be substituted as magnitude of F is equal to K by R into R d theta. So R will get cancelled. So what we have to evaluate is K d theta. Of course, K is constant. So we have to evaluate integration of d theta. Now we'll be focusing on these two parts. For the second force, it will be integration of K d theta over the whole circles. And for the first, it will be equal to K outside and integration of R squared d theta, right? So now let's come to evaluating these two integrals, right? You can go wrong here and not evaluate it rightly. Of course, you have the option to write, you have all the option to write these terms, right? Okay. So of course you had the option to write down the value of r in terms of any chosen angle, right? You could have done it by joining these point with the centers of the circle, right? Let's say for this C2 circle, you can join these 2 points and take any arbitrary position on this circle C2, and in this triangle you can write the angle, any angle theta, with this reference line, because this line is not going to change during your displacement. This line is going to be fixed, which is line joining 2 comma 1 5 comma 2, and you can take any arbitrary position on the circle, and of course you can write the value of r in terms of angle theta, and you can get the value of r as a function of theta, and you'll substitute this here in both of the terms, and you'll be able to evaluate that. But that is not recommended, considering that many of you have had actually tried, and the integration function actually becomes very difficult to solve, and some of you had to take help of Wolfram Alpha, etc. So what I am suggesting is different way here, right? So let's first evaluate the work done by F2 force, where we had to determine the integration of K into d theta, right? So let's say we are talking about circle C1. Circle C1, for circle C1, that point 2 comma 1 was interior point, right? So let's begin here, right? So this is the first case for which we are actually going to evaluate work done by force 2 on the first circle. So W21 is what we are evaluating, right? So let's make any radius vector, any given radius vector. This is my radius vector at any particular instant, and let's say we are rotating this radius vector by a small angle d theta, right? So we are evaluating this by angle d theta here, and this is my angle d theta. And if I start from this position, and if I go round complete one circle over this circle C1, the total, right? So this total integration of K d theta is going to be summation of all these small angles, and that is very easy to guess for all of you now. If we just add up all these angles over this complete circle, what we are going to get is the complete circle complete angle around the point, that is going to be equal to 2 pi, right? So this is the answer here. For the W21, it is going to be equal to k times integration of d theta, that is 2 pi, right? So that is 2k pi. So answer is there. Now let's evaluate the work done by force 2, for which we had to evaluate this part k d theta, but the point was exterior point. Let's say this circle here at the bottom, right? At the bottom left. Now let's make another radius vector here. So this is my radius vector at one given instant, right? So this is my radius vector. Let's rotate this radius vector by in anti-clockwise direction, by small angle d theta, right? And during that part, we have moved from this to this position on this circle, right? From this position to this position, this angle is d theta in the anti-clockwise direction. But if you just see it carefully, if you just keep on moving on this circle, you will eventually reach from at this particular point here, right? If you can follow my cursor here at this particular position, and you will move to the bottom part at this particular position. During this motion, you will be moving in anti-clockwise direction, but your angle theta, your radius vector, if you just look at here carefully, your initial radius vector will be this and your final radius vector will be going down. So of course your angle will be going, this angle d theta will actually be equal to be same in the magnitude, but in the opposite sense. It is going to be in the clockwise sense. So we can write it is going to be minus of d theta, right? So from this position to this position, if we are getting in anti-clockwise direction d theta, then surely between this to this position, it is going to be equal to minus d theta. And of course, we can take any displacement from this position to this position. If we are getting positive theta 1, then from this to this position, while going from here to here in the same anti-clockwise sense, my radius vector, this is my radius vector, this radius vector will actually be moving in the clockwise direction. So it will be negative. So here the same angle will be minus d theta. So of course, if I go completely over this circle, we'll be getting two identical patches where the angular displacements are going to be equal and opposite. So of course they are going to be compensating for each other, and summation of d theta over this complete circle is going to be equal to 0. So we can write W22 is going to be equal to 0, right? Now come for the first part, where the force was equal to actually k into r, and we had to evaluate the value of integration k r squared d theta, right? So let's begin with the first part here. Let's begin with this interior point for the circle C1. So we are evaluating W11 here, right? So let's again make a radius vector. Let's say this is my radius vector at any given particular instant, and let's rotate this radius vector by small angle d theta again, right? So this is my final radius vector, position of my final radius vector, and this angle swept is d theta. We have to evaluate this part here, k times r square d theta integration, right? And this is the clue here. If you just look this term closely, you will find some resemblance over what we have done already in the parts of Kepler's law. If you remember it correctly, this term will give you some hint that this will be equal to some area, right? And if you just follow it closely, you can very easily prove that area of this small triangle, this can be assumed to be an isosceles triangle. Of course, this angle d theta is very small. So if the area of this triangle is dA, I can write this dA will be equal to 1 by 2 r squared d theta, right? So that is very easy. The base will become equal to r d theta and perpendicular will be equal to r. So we'll just multiply base by height. So this is this much, right? So of course we can write r squared d theta equal to twice of dA, right? So here for work done W11, we had to evaluate this, and now we can just change this whole part here, and we can write that this will be equal to k times integration of this whole area, right? And if we just keep on rotating the radius vectors and we keep on, adding these areas like this area, right? If you just keep on adding all these area, what will you get? This is very easy to picture that what you will get is going to be equal to area of this whole circle, right? So this integration of dA is going to be equal to area of this whole circle, and we know the radius of each of these circles is equal to 2, right? And of course I did one mistake here. This r squared d theta is equal to 2 times dA, so of course it will be equal to 2k integration dA. So W11 is going to be equal to 2k into area, which is pi into radius 2 square. So of course this is going to be equal to 8k pi, right? So W11 is equal to this much. Now comes the part where I guess most of you find the trickiest here. But then that can also be tackled in the same manner, right? So again, we are taking two radius vectors. Let's say this is the position of my initial radius vector, and I have rotated this radius vector by the same small angle d theta. I have reached from this position to this position, and during that particular part, you might find it difficult to relate with this area, because in this interior case we were getting the areas of these triangles, and since this point was inside the circle, you could always say that sum of all these areas was equal to area of this circle. But in this case, what is going to be this result? R squared d theta. Again, you can say the same thing. The area of this triangle is again going to be equal to r squared d theta divided by 2. So of course we can write that for the work 2-1, for the work it is going to be equal to, for force 1, so it should be W1, and for circle 2, so it is going to be 1-2. W12 is going to be equal to again 2k integration of dA, that is for sure. But how can we evaluate this dA very easily? Can it also be said that this integration will be equal to area of this circle only? It can be. You can think about it a bit more. Let's say we have moved from this position to this position, and we are getting this dA that is equal to the shaded part here, right? So now during your rotation in anti-clockwise direction, now let's say you have reached to this particular position and you are going from this position to this position, just like in this case, right, where we had proved the work done is 0, right? So similar thing is happening. If we are going from this position to this position, the d theta is going to be equal to of same magnitude but negative, because my radius vector was initially this and finally this. So my radius vector is actually moving in the clockwise direction, not in the anti-clockwise direction. So it is going to be equal to minus d theta. And if we just evaluate r squared d theta, the area is going to be equal to this much, right? Area is going to be equal to this much, and that area is going to be negative. Why? because d theta is negative. So at one part, we were getting this whole area, and at the second part, from here to here, we were getting this area, and that is with the minus sign. So if I just add these two areas, what we will be getting is this area that is actually inside of this circle, right? So if we just keep on moving in this whole circle, we will be getting the similar kind of sweeps, right? So let me make another one such sweep for more clarity. I'm sure most of you have already got this, right? Let's say if I am moving from this position to this position, the r square d theta integration will be equal to twice of this whole area, right? This whole area. But at one position you will reach here, and from here to this position you will get this area, but this area will be with the negative sign because d theta is negative, right? So again you will be getting only this area which is inside this circle. So integration of this dA is going to be again the area of this whole circle. So the answer of course is going to remain same, that is equal to 8k pi. So this is the answer. I hope you guys did like this solution. If you did, please share this video with your friends. Thank you.